What a game! Rugby League. National Rugby League. The People's Game.
Around 1, 2, 3, 4, Greg Inglis, and he's still going.
Billy Slater, he has scored!
The Roadrunner is away! Sean Johnson!
Big Jamal, the biggest human in the world!
What's going on, Rugby League Nation? It's your boy Ali from Ali's latest NRL Rumours and also talking Rugby League. Welcome to episode 2. Episode 1 was pretty hectic. Subscription went up straight away for my YouTube channel. The viewership was pretty crazy as well, and until now it's increasing a lot. The feedback was awesome. I got inboxed and also comments under the actual post of the podcast from my page Ali's latest NRL Rumours. I took them on board, and this podcast is pretty good. It's gonna be shorter than episode 1, which is what you guys requested. It's gonna be I'm following a script, which also, I got a lot of feedback about that, and for me to follow specific things, and that's exactly what I'll be doing at the moment. I created a Word file, a document for this episode, and I'm gonna talk about every segment, what I'm gonna talk about, and how long I should be talking about that segment, and obviously also the topics within that segment. Now, I'm gonna try obviously not to repeat myself, because that's another thing as well that a lot of fans told me not to do, and that's I appreciate that, and that's something I'm gonna take in mind, and hopefully you're not gonna hear a lot of the same lines and same stories about the same players. So we're gonna get straight into it. So the first segment that I'll be talking about is just the NRL rumors that have been going around recently, and updates on some also NRL rumors that I spoke about in the last episode. Now, the first thing I'm gonna be talking about is the Newcastle Knights. So today it was announced that Corbin Sims is going to depart from the Newcastle Knights, and he's going to join the Brisbane Broncos effective immediately. Now, it's taken apparently a 250k pay cut, which is pretty hectic, and he's signing with the Broncos for 85,000 for 2017, and then that's obviously going to increase in 2018. Now, that's obviously confirmed, and you guys should have already heard about that. But the Newcastle Knights, where does that leave the Newcastle Knights? Because we heard Paulie has been in an accident. Jared Mullen obviously has been allegedly taking steroids, so he's out of 2017 and possibly the future. And Paulie, there's still a question mark on his future. But where to now for the Newcastle Knights? Now, there's one major Cowboys player that they're aiming to get, and 7 News Queensland revealed last night that the Knights they're gunning for Matt Scott. Now, Matt Scott said if the Cowboys can't re-sign him, he's happy to look elsewhere. The Knights, I can tell you that what I've heard and read, that they're offering him 7,500. Sorry, 750,000 a season for 2 years, and that's from 2018. So that's gonna be a massive signing. I don't know about everybody else, but if you ask Newcastle Knights fan who would they prefer, I think they'll prefer Matt Scott over Corbin Sims anyway. So that's from 2018 though, not 2017. So it's a good future for them at the moment if they get their man. Now, it's a domino effect, because that's gonna have the Cowboys with one less player, and it's one massive player that they're possibly going to lose, in that being Matt Scott. So who are they going to target? Now, not a long time ago, but a couple months ago, it was revealed that the Cowboys, they were after a specific Warriors player, and that Warriors player is Ben Matalino. Now, what I'm hearing is there's fresh talks going around that they're gonna possibly gun for him as well for 2018. So if they lose Matt Scott, expect them to go for Ben Matalino from the New Zealand Warriors, and that's also from 2018. So that's a pretty good replacement. Now, there's gonna be a big question mark on whether he will leave New Zealand and go to Townsville. It's a pretty there's a pretty two different lifestyles. So it's stay tuned for that. Don't get shocked if that talk gets reopened. So that's the second thing I wanted to get off the list. The third thing that I've got here is Ben Hunt to the Dragons. So today it was revealed that the Dragons, they've offered him a 6-year deal. Sorry, it's a 5-year deal, but with a 1-year option. So 7 News, they revealed that it's a 5-year deal with a year option. So in total it's 6 years, but what's confirmed is 100% he'll be at the club if he accepts for 5 years. And apparently it's close to 1 million a season. That is a lot of money. A lot of money. It might be worth it, it might not be. Dragons fans are happy, Broncos fans are happy. It's the neutral fans that, like me, that are just questioning $1 million a season. It is a lot of money. I do not think it's worth. I don't even think it's worth 500. In all honesty, the Dragons have got. I'll watch the Illawarra Cutters, and I've watched their under-20s play. Now I know that Ben Hunt. There's an argument that Ben Hunt playing for the Dragons is better than a rookie. But imagine what that, putting a rookie in 2017 is gonna do for the Dragons in 2018 and 2019. There's all of that development. If mentored right, he could be their Ben Hunt, or he could, be their Kieran Foran, or their not Thurston, but not as obviously there's not gonna be anyone as good as him. But they could develop players. They've got good youngsters, and they're offering Ben Hunt $1 million. That's a lot of money, and that's just, they're gonna lose players. I can't see paying $1 million for Ben Hunt. They've just signed Paul Vaughan as well. It's gonna be a big ask for Dragons fans. Honestly, they've got Gareth Widdop as well. But I would have preferred, if I was a Dragons fan, I would prefer the club investing in the younger players. And you know what, there possibly could have been options for the Dragons to sign another player, not for and that player would have not asked for $1 million, that's for sure. A season, it's a big risk, and let's be honest, Ben Hunt didn't have the best 2016 season. And also, what I heard was the Broncos didn't even offer him. They didn't even offer him a serious contract. That's how Wayne Bennett is looking at the future. He didn't even consider Ben Hunt being in their future plans. Hence why I didn't offer him that serious contract offer. So that's pretty much done deal. So Dragons fans, I'm not sure how you're feeling about that 6 years, 1 million. I thought Daly Cherry Evans and Manly's deal was bad, but this guy's $1 million a season as well for 6 years. So that's a lot of money. Also, 2 days ago, Fox Sports revealed that Wade Graham, he's going to resign with the Cronulla Sharks for a further 3 years, so that'll keep him at the club until the end of 2020. This guy is a gun player. I loved him when he was at Penrith, and I still like him when he was at the Sharks. Not as much, obviously, because they've been playing some good footy. And he's a future captain, he's a future leader, he'll be in Origin for a long time, so it's a great re-signing for them. And also they've just got obviously Ben Barber as well, and they'll lock up Valentine Holmes and Jack Bird as well, so their future is looking pretty smick. So that's a pretty much it from NRL Rumours. But there's also one more thing I wanted to talk about, and that's the James Tedesco thing I had. I got a lot of reaction from last week about when I said he's a done deal with the Roosters. That's what was the latest I heard. But there was talk yesterday. I think it was yesterday. He denied anything with the Roosters yesterday in an interview with James Tedesco. He said he's looking at his priorities, the Tigers, and the Roosters. It wasn't even there's been no offer or anything like that. So it's kind of wait and see kind of thing, because there's a lot of players, like I said last week, that are off contract with the West Tigers, and James Tedesco is obviously one of them, along with Aaron Woods, and you've got Aaron and Moses, and also what's the other one? Luke Brooks as well, and they just re-signed Josh Alawai as well. They've got Suaso Su as well off contract, but he did say yesterday that the Tigers are his priority. The Bulldogs apparently, according to reports, that were interested in him and Aaron Woods. You can get rid of that straight away, because that's not happening. There are people that on forums that think he will leave. Also, like I said, he also, I got told that he's pretty much done deal with the Roosters. But yesterday, 2 days ago, he was yesterday with the Tigers. They did say that they're working on his contract, and I think that for them their priority should be the spine. But I got a funny feeling they'll announce Aaron Wood resigning first, and either Luke Brooks or Mitch Moses will leave. Because I just don't see them re-signing all of them. That's why I was pretty much sold on Tedesco going to the Roosters, because it makes sense with them only signing Gordon for 1 year, and they've got Latrell Mitchell who can shift down to the wing, so he slots in straight there. But he denied it, and there's a lot of players that deny a lot of things, and it ends up happening. So it's a wait and see, but I don't see him going to the Bulldogs at all, and it's either Roosters or Tigers, and that is it. Okay, so that's the first segment complete. The second segment I want to talk about is the NRL Supercoach. Now, I've been working on my team for the past, I don't know, week or so. I've been flicking through players' positions, and today I'm going to be talking about my 2017 NRL Supercoach wing and centers that I currently have. They probably most likely will change, but at the moment I'm going to tell you guys who I'm looking at. So I have locked in Tahu Harris. He's not changing. He's going to stay there because he's a dual as well, so second row center. Alex Glenn, I've got him because he's pretty cheap, and depending on what happens with James Roberts, he might slot in to the outside backs, and he might up his minutes. So he's about 260, 266 in NRL Supercoach. So he's at the moment, he's a hold. I'm not sure what's going to happen, but I'm keeping him for now just because he is pretty cheap, and he can score points and assist if he's playing center. The third guy I've got is Jack Bird from the Sharks. He's a gun player. He's probably too pricey, and that's why a lot of people are holding off him. I got him at the moment, and I'm pretty much sold on him. I'm gonna keep him for now. If another plan comes, or I get feedback from someone else about a better option. I had Turbo Tom Travojevic, but I got rid of him to get Harris. But who knows? I might backflip and get take out Bird and find a way to get Travojevic back in. The fourth and fifth player that I've got in the center wings is Dean Farah and Uwate. Now, the reason why I've got them two, first of all, they'll be starting. Second of all, they are cheap. Dean Farah can score points. Uwate can score points. Uwate didn't have the best season with the Knights, but he's at Manly now. Farah didn't have the best season at Penrith because he got injured, but they'll both be starting. And anytime you see two starting outside backs, or just a starting player that are not even 180k, that's you gotta jump on them. Their break evens will be low as well, so put them in your team and hope for the best. You can only go one way, and in my opinion, that's gonna go up. Another person I have, so my 6th and 7th player, they're two nuffies, so I don't know if they're gonna see a game this year. I've got Brad Abbey from the Bulldogs. I think he will only cover for origin or injuries. And the other guy is Brian Kelly from Manly. Now, he's probably a chance to playing with the Manly Seagulls, but he's been named for their Auckland Nine, so that's a good indication. And if he performs in the Nines pretty well, I think that he will. He's gonna be a lookout, because he's bottom price, and if he does play for the Manly Seagulls, and if he does start, that's another player you could heavily consider. But would you go with Kelly and Iwate from the same team? That's your question. That's a question for you guys to answer. That's pretty much it from the Supercoach. But yeah, just quickly on the stats of those players. So Taha Harris, he's got the buys in round 12 and 19. Alex Glenn, he's got it 15 and 18. Jack Bird's 13 and 18. Dean Farris 12 and 15. So their buys are kind of different. So they could all they all complement each other. So when one's not playing, another one is playing. And looking at a couple of them, Bird will probably play Origin, but the rest won't. So that's another tick. Iwate, he's got 12 and 15 buys, and then Brian Kelly's got 12 and 15, around 12 and 15 buys. Abby's got 15 and 19, so that's fine. So it's good to have that as well, because you do have to plan for your buys as well. So you got to consider that as well. So that's another segment done, and the third segment that I'll be talking about is it's going to be my opinion on breaking news from the NRL in the recent 48 hours, 48 to 72 hours. So it's a James Roberts incident. Now, apparently, what happened was he allegedly assaulted a female, and he pulled her hair. The nightclub they're not allowing the NRL to see the CCTV footage of the incident. So that's apparently helping James Roberts in a certain way, because the NRL can't obviously make a decision on evidence that they don't have. So that's good for James Roberts. But what I'm hearing is the incident is worse than what he actually is. He's actually been involved with this incident. It also involved James Roberts and his former players from his previous club. So they were actually at the scene then, and apparently it is not good. It's not only just him pulling hair, so you gotta stay tuned for that. But the update that I actually got told, the update that was broken from the Courier Mail today was James Roberts himself actually wants the footage to be handed over to the NRL. So he's actually working with the nightclub and negotiating with them to allow the NRL to see the footage, to ensure that he can clear his name and he could be found innocent, because it kind of makes him look bad in a certain way that the club isn't allowing the NRL to see that footage. So you kind of think that if it wasn't that bad, why aren't they letting the NRL see that footage? So that's let's just stay tuned for that, because it is not over. Like it's not over. There's gonna be still a lot. We'll be talking about this for a long time. And yeah, so let's just wait and see what happens with James Roberts, because if the NRL are unhappy with what actually has happened, you'd think he's going to get sacked. He's had so many chances, but I'm hearing it's worse than what it actually has been reported. And also, yeah, just with the him actually wanting the NRL to see the footage so he can clear his name. So yeah, let's just wait and see what happens there. And that's it. So that there hasn't been much. There has been much news, but for me to talk about, with the Jared Mullen also being found guilty with steroids. Let's just be honest, his career is gone. I think it's a blessing for the NRL, for the Knights. They could finally just bring out that fresh new talent, which the coach has been talking about. He wants the fans to support the club and support the players that he's going to develop, and this is going to help them in a certain way. So it's kind of a benefit to the Knights. So I don't see Jared Mullen getting found not guilty if he's actually taken the the steroids. Now that's another segment gone. What I want to talk about now, segment 5, it's going to be the fan questions. So I'm gonna answer approximately 15 questions from my page, Ali's latest NRL Rumours on Facebook, and I'm gonna obviously, when I answer these questions when the podcast is on, I'll link you guys with this for this podcast, and it's gonna be under the post. I'll be posting it in the fan questions as well, so you guys can see your answer to your question. The first one I got from Roy is, when are the Broncos sacking Roberts? And you're hearing next week. I'm not even hearing anything, so I'm not sure what's going to happen, because the NRL don't even have footage, so I'm not sure how you could actually how they could actually decide on a date when they're going to sack him if they haven't even seen the footage or evidence of him, because the club is not allowing the NRL to see the CCTV footage. But obviously James Roberts is doing a good thing, and he's trying to ensure that the club does reveal the footage to the NRL to ensure, because he obviously thinks he hasn't done anything that bad. So yeah, let's just wait and see there. Mike was asking how likely is the Tigers to re-sign their big four. How likely are they to sign them? So Mitchell Moses, Luke Brooks, James Tedesco, Aaron Wood. I think their priorities are obviously going to be their halves. I still believe one of them, will leave the club. I'm not sure who it is, but if you want to ask me, if you want my honest opinion, it's going to be either James Tedesco or Mitchell Moses. One of them will leave the club. Luke Brooks will get re-signed, and I don't see Aaron Wood also leaving the club for the Bulldogs, even though David Clemmer is his best mate. So yeah. So because there was talk when David Clemmer was off contract with the Bulldogs that they were going to get him. The Tigers wanted David Clemmer. So and now it's the opposite. Now the Bulldogs want Aaron Woods to complement David Clemmer. But yeah, how likely are the Tigers to resign all four? Unlikely. I think one of them will go. Has the Sharks signed James Seguiara? Yes, they have. It's a 2-year deal. Announcement to be made soon. And that was from Raymond. Daniel's asking about the Knights. So he's got out a couple of stats here. They've got 500 left over plus Sims and stuff. So what happened? So like I said earlier in this podcast, they're gunning for Matt Scott on a 2-year deal worth $750,000 a year. So stay tuned for that. Brendan's asking about Tedesco interested in moving to the Bulldogs. Apparently the Bulldogs are interested. I haven't heard anything like that. I think it's bullshit, because the Bulldogs themselves, they've got a couple of players themselves that they have to resign and lock up. So let's just wait and see there. And let's just wait and see what happens with them. I see that Tedesco either staying at the Tigers or leaving to the Roosters, and it works out well with Mike Gordon leaving after 1 year, because he's only signed for 1 year, and Latrell Mitchell going to the wing. Now Josh was asking, do Manly have any replacement lined up in the event of Matai and Stewart re-signing? Yes, they do. They've signed obviously a couple of players in this off season. They got what's his name, Jonathan Wright. They got Matt Wright as well last year, Uwate. So they do have players lined up. They have Brian Kelly as well. So yeah, they've got a couple of players there. So yeah, that's their possible replacement. And yeah, well, that's who you're gonna expect to line up. I don't see them signing anyone else. And it's pretty interesting because Brett Stewart hasn't been cleared to train, so you can forget about him. Travojevic will take over, and then Matai, he'll retire as well. So yeah, so they do have replacements there. Arnab is asking about who's going to partner Cronk in the Storm half. So that's going to be Cameron Munster. Mark's asking about what's going on with Todd Carney. Now, last I heard was he was going back to England. But 2 days ago, I read a rumour about the Knights being interested in him, and there's been talk about the Bulldogs as well. I don't know because Josh Reynolds. It's funny because Josh Reynolds is off contract. at the end of 2017. So it's either they go with Josh Reynolds or they go for someone else. But what's going on with Todd Carney? It's either England or the Newcastle Knights at the moment. I don't see him getting signed on with the Bulldogs. Felipe is asking, will Jared Manning get sacked? Yes, he will. Who is your favourite current player? Who's my favourite current player? I'm a Penrith fan, so I'm gonna have to go with Matt Moylan. I like James Fisher-Harris as well. So yeah, who do you think will retire at the end of the year? I don't know, Paul Gallen maybe. Who do you think will be the next semi? Bevan French, obviously. Do you think Holmes or Bird will leave the Shark? No, I don't see that happening. Kyle Lovett update. Kyle Lovett update. So yeah, for those who don't know, Kyle Lovett actually, he was being told to actually leave the West Tigers. So I don't know. I haven't heard anything much on Kyle Lovett, but I did hear Salford Red Devils being interested in him. So wait and see. I don't see him staying in the NRL. I think he'll be leaving to go to England because it's pretty late for him to sign and secure a contract with another NRL club. So that's about it. So that's about it for this episode number 2 for Talking Rugby League. We touched on NRL Rumours, the 2017 wingers centres for my team, my opinion on the James Roberts incident, and the update I provided you guys, and also your fan questions being updated. So thank you guys for listening. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this podcast. I did my best to follow a script, and I did my best to cut this podcast timing down. Now if you guys could please, once you finished from listening to this podcast, subscribe, share my channel, share the podcast link, get more viewership up for Talking Rugby League on YouTube. Subscribe to my channel, like, share, comment as well, comment feedback as well, comment your opinions on the news as well, and also like and share my Facebook page if you haven't. So it's Ali's Latest NRL Rumours on Facebook. So like that. It is going mental. The page is really it's growing by day, and I just put up the post about Ben Hunt, and there's over about 120-30 comments already. I'm almost at 7,600 likes. Just like a couple of weeks ago, it was only 7. I only touched on 7,000. Now it's about 7,600. So in a couple of weeks, I managed to get over about 600 likes. Just this week, I've had about 80-85 likes, and it's growing. It is going like crazy. It's gonna constantly be growing if you like it and follow it. So yeah, please do. And hopefully, you guys enjoyed this podcast. Peace out, and look out for it for next week, same time. Friday night, I'll be posting on my Facebook page, Ali's Latest NRL Rumours, for you guys to ask your questions. That's going to be answered in this podcast. So look out for the post. Insert your question, and that question is going to be answered in the podcast, which is going to be uploaded every Saturday night at 7:30. That's episode 2 done. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Look out for episode 3 and also the posts on Ali's Latest NRL Rumours. Thank you, peace out, and enjoy your weekend, people.